down. Well, we beat feet down there. It takes about 2.5 hours to get down there. We get down there, 2.5 hours later, he's still in surgery. He's not back up in the ICU room yet. That's red flag number one. So they send us to the operating room, waiting room. A little while, 45 minutes goes by, a team of doctors walks in. And they said, are you the family of Scott Leeper? And Scott Leeper was also my dad's name. And we said, yes. And they're like, all right, well, the procedure we just tried, which was like a liver bypass procedure, they said, we tried it, it didn't work because his liver's so scarred. There's one other procedure that we can try, however, we've had to give him 8 units of blood already, so his quality of life will be 0.
Wow.
So I'm like, shit. So I'm like, all right, well, let me call my grandfather, let him know what's going on. He was living in Anderson, he was still alive at the time. Called him up, told him what was going on, and my grandfather told me 2 words. Handle it. Heavy.
How old were you?
29.
Okay. Wow. That's way too young, really,
right.
to be.
Right.
Yeah, that's a jagged pill.
That's a tough thing to deal with. Like, that was a dagger to the heart when he said handle it. Like, fuck, and then I get off the phone with him and I look at my sister, and before I get anything out, my sister starts shaking her head. She goes, Scotty, I can't make this decision. Weight of the world on my shoulders at that point, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm bawling my eyes out. I got my head in my hands, tears, snot, everything, just crying, just bawling, right? And finally, what seemed like 10 minutes was probably only 10 seconds. I said, don't do the other procedure. And that hurt, man. And like in the book, I talk about, I relegate myself to, the old Roman emperor who is standing up like this in the Colosseum with his thumb to the side. And then he goes thumbs down like, nope, time to die kind of thing. And that's kind of like where I felt like what I was doing. So they said, okay, we'll make him comfortable, we'll wheel him back up. And they wheeled him back up there. Me, my wife, and my sister were in the ICU room with him. And we're talking to him or whatever, and finally my sister goes, okay, you ready to go? I said, Jenny, you guys go. If I'm going to make this decision, I have to sit here. It's not that I want to, but I have to, right? Well, so they took off. I'm sitting in there with him, just me and him. I'm hearing the death rattle. Like, it's just an eerie thing.
Yeah.
They got him on life support still, whatever. And finally I said, okay, it's time. So they asked me to step out so they could do what they got to do with the machines and all that stuff, take the ventilator out and everything. So they closed the curtain. Well, when they closed the curtain, the other side shifted. I had to watch. Something told me I had to watch this, right? I didn't want to.
Yeah.
It's something I just had to. I was called to do it.
Right.
Well, as I'm watching, now I see, the screen where his vital signs were off, right? I see him take the ventilator out. And here's the crazy thing. As soon as the ventilator was out, he woke up. He came out of his coma briefly, and he starts doing this. He starts grabbing for the nurse to his right. And now I don't know if that was, what the fuck are you doing? Give me back my breathing tube, or if it's okay, it's time for me to go. As he's doing this, the nurse to the left gives him an injection to calm him down because they're still hurting, they're still suffocating.
Yeah.
So they give him the injection to help calm him down, to help relieve the pain and the fire in his lungs.
Yeah.
And then you start to hear the death rattle even louder.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to sleep. And then they let me back in. Minutes later, I hear his last breath. 7:08 p.m. At 7:08 p.m., he took his last breath. Right? So, and that was the start of my downward spiral. But really, at the end of the day, the thing is, it's not. That was the start of that. That's the start of the life that I was supposed to be on. That was the start of what I was supposed to be doing, leading up to this conversation right now. Right, that whole thing happened for a purpose. I got kicked out for a reason. I got no TH for a reason, and that all led to this book, this conversation, coaching, speaking, all of it. Right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that same thing, Scott.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, man, sorry you had to go through that. That's obviously really life changing.
Yeah.
Having to go through something like that, and like you were saying, as far as the addiction goes, it doesn't just affect the person that is struggling with it. It goes way beyond
family
that.
disease.
Yeah. So
alcohol's not dangerous, huh? Yeah, all because of alcohol.
The crazy thing about alcohol is one of the hardest, and again, it's my opinion. I know when heroin gets its hooks in you, it's a long uphill battle. I get it. But in my humble opinion, I think alcohol is a harder addiction to get past for the simple fact that it's everywhere. It's legal. It's absolutely you go to a kid's party and people are drinking. A 6-year-old's birthday party and people are drinking. You go take your 6-year-old, you take your kid to a baseball game. Alcohol everywhere. Now here's the thing. I do still have a drink here and there, right? Yeah. But I know my family history.
Right.
And I police myself very, very strictly. And I think physiologically my body doesn't like it. It doesn't allow me to get drunk anyway, because if I drink too much, I get bloated. Right? And I don't even drink beer anymore. I might have the mixed drink on the occasion, or a glass of wine or whatever. But I know exactly what I'm doing specifically.
You're not doing it like he said. Your dad, he said, I feel fat, nobody loves me. That's why he was drinking.
Yeah.
You're not, when you have your mixed drink, and people do that all the time, and that's normal.
It's not numbing for me.
But yeah, the people like myself and the people that have a problem with it are the people that we're looking for something to get us out of the uncomfortable that we're feeling at that moment. And that's how we grew up. It was okay. Look at TV. We start drinking. It's fun. Hey, this buzz feels good. We're feeling bad. We don't want to feel bad. Well, what makes us feel good? I know what. Let me reach for this. Rob and I were kind of talking about that about sex earlier too. That's why sex is kind of a big thing, and especially in early recovery. And they're like, stay away from it. Stay away because it's you're replacing one with the other. It's just like people who are like, I won't. And I did this once too, or I said it, I won't drink anymore, I'll just smoke pot. Well, you're still substituting one for the other. You're not dealing with the issue, you're not dealing with the problem of why you're feeling that way. And you have to break it down, you have to stop and think. I mean, this is what they mean by work. You have to stop when you feel that way, when you feel that kind of way. Why am I mad? Why am I angry? Why am I hurt? Feel that hurt. That's life, man. Yeah. Pinch yourself.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, like when it comes to that pain that you feel, we were talking about analogies earlier, right?
Right.
It's another one. I love analogies. I'm big on analogies. And this is another one. When we were growing up, right, and we had our arm hurt or our leg hurt or our back hurt, and it wasn't an injury, our parents always told us it was growing pains, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Well, guess what? Growing pains, just because we're an adult, doesn't mean it stops. There's two differences here. We still go through growing pains, but there's two differences. Number one, it's now psychological versus physiological. Back then it was a physical pain that we felt. Now it's a psychological feeling pain that we feel, right? And so our growing pains as adults are psychological now. But there's another difference, and this is a big one. The other difference is now it becomes a choice. Now you choose to grow or choose to stay stuck, right? You choose to feel into that pain or you choose to run from that pain, right? And I tell people all the time, like, listen, when you cut yourself hard, deep. It creates a scar tissue. Mm-hmm. That skin now gets tougher. Well, when you go through shit, you're creating psychological scarring tissue, right? Mm-hmm. That's going to help you grow as a person. You look at like the old ancient tribal shamans. They're not the tribal medicine men for no reason. They've been through shit. It's always an old guy because they've been through everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you talk about the patriarch and the matriarch, and these older people that you look up to. It's because they've all been through shit.
Yeah.
They've all been through things, right? Yep. And because they've been through it, now they know how to navigate. Now, of course, you also have the old guy that is just disgruntled as hell and pissed off at the world, and he stayed stuck.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. So you got to be careful who you're talking to. What old ancient shaman dude you're talking to, right?
Yeah. I like that. I like that analogy. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And the more scarring tissue you grow psychologically, the tougher person that you can become. Can, not will. Can. But it's up to you. It's a choice.
Right. Scott, thanks for talking with us today, man. You plug your book. Where can people buy it?
So it's on Amazon. It's eligible for Amazon Prime. There's you can find it on Barnes & Noble website. If you're in my area, down in South Bend, Indiana area, it's at the Barnes & Noble there in UP Mall. There's the Nook version, the Kindle version. So if you like the ebook better, you can find it on Apple. Was it the Apple iBook Store, the Google Play Store? So there's a lot of different areas that you can find it.
Right. Cool. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Again, drowning in addiction, sink or swim. Scott Leeper. And I wanted to say, from veteran to veteran, thank you for your service.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for yours.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll put a link on our website too, 217recovery.com. People want to go there, there'll be a link.
And if they want to follow me too, they can find me on Instagram at @the_Scott Leeper. You can find me, Scott Leeper, on Facebook. We have a Facebook page for our book, Drowning in Addiction, Sink or Swim. I'm on LinkedIn, Scott Leeper. My email address, mindmusclestrength@gmail.com. Mind as in mindset. That's how you get hold of me.
All right.
Cool. Thanks again, Scott.
I appreciate
UFAM
it.
Rally 2019. The sun has come out now. See?
Finally.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that. We got an hour left, so
Yeah.
good times.
Yeah.